don't know what I'm doing.
We're building.
Absolutely dripping.
It's the open target and another target from the last one.
Right?
Yeah,
The
but
decision is going to be.
I don't know what they're talking about, Britt. Can you fill me in?
Just stage planning, yeah. So right now, from this port behind you, we can see that third array of targets. So it's a hard shot from this way, so you can't see it, or you can just risk it and shoot from there and have an easier port through this window.
What's up, y'all? This is Brandon. I have
Back from the dead.
Yeah, back from dead. I have Average TX, aka Mike, and Hunter Constantine here, and we got a bunch of homies in the background. So today we wanted to give you a little bit of tips and tricks and ways that we run USPSA from some seasoned veterans and guys who have been in the sport, especially since you guys are having the Average Joe Summer Series coming up, and I felt like it would be super useful with the talent that we have on hand. So today we set up a stage behind us. It's kind of an advanced stage, but we're going to give you some walkthroughs, some tips and tricks, and you get to see how these guys process what targets they're going to take from where, how they move throughout the stage, maybe where they decide to hit a reload if they want to, and then where they're willing to risk points versus time, right? There's a lot of like little mini math that goes into USPSA, but it falls back on your ability as well, right? So you have to be comfortable with yourself and what you can get away with in order to maximize your stage potential. So we're going to give you more than a couple walkthroughs, and then hopefully you get something out of this when we go into tips and tricks section for y'all.
So shooting sports, especially uspsa, is not just your firearm skills, but it is how you are planning your stage and how you're going to attack that stage. So when you show up to a match, you'll show up to the stage. This is the stage that we just shot inside. You can see there's some different shooting ports along the walls that Shabazz beautifully drew. And then we have the targets in the back. We had some visual barriers. Generally, when you come to this stage, you want to figure out where all the targets are, where you can shoot them from, and then from there you're going to figure out what's going to be most efficient for you. I have a very simplistic way of going about it, and it's just what's the easiest way I can remember. Because you'll start getting into people being like, oh, if you take half step this way and super hard lean, you can grab a couple extra targets, but it might not be the best shooting position, and it might be difficult to get into that position. So when we started here, you start looking at the ports and you're going through the stage and you're seeing what is visible. And we had options between these two shooting ports here where you can shoot these middle targets and these 3 targets over here. People ended up doing 2 different things between our group, where you shot these 3 and this hardcover, because you cannot see this hardcover anywhere else besides this port and that port. And some people shot all 3 targets, the double stack and the headshot. But you could also shoot the double stack from this port. So there's multiple options, and you have to play to what your skill benefits you the most. Like, some people love shooting on the move, some people like shooting stationary. And it's really important just to choose a stage plan that is going to work for you. A lot of people overcomplicate it, but this is like a memory skill for your brain, like how well your brain can process how you're going to shoot it, and how you can recall it while you're shooting to make sure that you're transitioning to the right target. If you land in the right spot for a port, like someone over there who's texting, he's not listening. Anyways.
The one person who complained about it?
The one person who complained about it, yeah. Anyways, so it's important because once you know your stage plan, then you have to think about where you're going to land on each of these ports or what target you're going to index. I like to use visual indexes, so when we were moving from right to left, when we were leaving this port and entering this port, I was looking for this headshot. So as soon as I clear this wall, I'm looking for that headshot. My gun's coming up as I'm getting into position, and that cues me to start shooting the targets that we had from that array. But this is like a separate skill outside of shooting, and it's something that's unique, that is generally practiced at a match. If you set up your own stage, you know exactly where everything is, but when you show up and you have to solve that problem, somebody else's problem that they set up for you, you got to figure it out. So this is a skill in itself, and you have to go shoot matches to get better at it.
My name's Will, and I've been shooting uspsa for just over a year, and to be quite honest with you, Hunter actually taught me a lot of what I know today. He was a big influence on my shooting. So I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on what he said about stage planning, and then I'll give you a tip or 2 about how to run a stage like this a little better. So the big thing that Hunter emphasized is that you don't want to overcomplicate things, and that's very true, because shooting this, you could shoot this 10 times in practice and you might, get progressively better, but at a match you only have 1 shot and you can't shoot it before, you can only walk it before. So learning to visualize something and figure out what parts of this stage in your memory is becoming complicated to you, and how can you change the way you think about it so that it's easier to digest while you're running the stage. So like Hunter said, there was an optional port right here, and the reason why most of us chose not to use this port is because you're able to take all the targets without looking through this. How does that help you? You can score the same amount of points without adding the additional time looking through another position. We call these positions, so the main positions were left to right 1, 2, and 3. If you add this one in, even though it's a half step, you could call it at the very least 1, 2, 2.5, and 3, or maybe even 3 and 4. So you're adding time there. And another thing, really simple fix that does take a little bit of practice at the beginning to help you save time, especially in and out of these ports, is knowing that your bullets go very fast and they go very far. So you don't have to help the bullet get there by sucking into these ports, because what you're having to do is come up to it and point your gun out like deep into this port, take your shots, and then pull your gun back in, especially when you have a position to say where we needed to take both of these ports. If you come in, stick your gun in, take all that time to pull your gun out, stick your gun back in, take all that time to pull the gun back out, that's all additional time. So just step back off the port, and if you can still see the targets, you can take them, and your bullets will do the work for you. And then my final tip before Jello comes up is that deciding what targets to take or in what order you want to take these targets as you enter into positions. As a rule of thumb, unless it's a very high risk target that I see first, I just shoot things as I see them. So for example, when we came left to right, I took these two targets as I saw them. So the left target came up first and then this one. And then as I ran up here, this, I believe it was like a top A zone partial. I took that coming in because I saw it first, so I don't have to stare at it while not scoring on it. And then by the time I was done with this target, I just knocked out this array right to left. And then same rule of thumb throughout the stage. So that's how I choose what targets to take. And not sucking into ports is one way you can save time.
You want to know, or at least I want to know, how my targets are in chronological order. And I take different times when something's wide open versus something that's like partial. So my wide open one's gonna have a faster split than something that's more restricted. So if I'm gonna read it left to right as I stage planned, I integrate, or I really try to ingrain kind of the order of targets. So when I see this left to right, I'm going faster on the open target. So it's like bop, 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 bop. So here, a little guitar hero. Bop, 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 bop. So that's kind of what I hear. And I'm just copy and pasting this segment into every single target that I see. The end.
If I go into a match and I find something that is super difficult, like entering in like on a partial or doing full sprint and moving into an open target and then having to break and pull the decel and be able to shoot accurately, influence the way that I go to the range and train. So instead of going to the range and stapling up targets that I print off the internet or something, I actually just set up multiple targets and practice moving into a position and shooting or exiting a position and shooting, because in the match that may have given me a ton of issues. In my opinion, the biggest benefit of shooting USPSA is going and shooting stages and then identifying things that are issues within your shooting. Then you can take those back to your home range and practice those if you have a wide open bay where you can set stuff up like you guys do here. Or if you're at an indoor range, maybe setting up partials or shooting doubles at further distances. That way the shooting aspect is something that you can continuously improve on. And then maybe during USPSA, you just focus a little more on your moving and let your shooting be the thing that falls on the back end. There are a ton of shooters out there. I would say that Hunter is really good at shooting, so maybe he has to focus a little more on movement and positioning. And I think I've heard JJ say that he is really good at moving, so JJ has to focus a lot more on him actually shooting the targets, right? So you identify strengths and weaknesses based off of what you may find difficult at matches, and then you can take the things that you found difficult, if you write them down in your phone or something, and then practice them at home. So use USPSA and the stages and use it to your advantage. When you find something difficult, write it down and then go home and practice it. That way when you find it in a match, it's not necessarily as daunting. And I think Nick from Velox and a bunch of guys say skills, not drills. And so they come out and they identify all of this as difficult. And then the next time they're just like, yeah, I can enter in on this partial at 20 yards and just blast a double and it's totally fine. So definitely use all the tools you can, write down everything that is difficult, go home, practice it. Do the next time you go shoot a match, you'll identify other stuff that's difficult, and it's just this rotating rotunda of stuff that you get to work on.
Okay, so this is a topic that I feel like is not discussed enough. It is called mental management. It is the biggest thing that I am trying to work on right now. So I used to play basketball for over 10 years, and a coach never once mentioned it to me. But before every single game, I would get so physically ill because of performance anxiety and just performing in front of people and performing under pressure. And it's something that I did not recognize in myself until my late 20s. And what brought that back was competition shooting, specifically USPSA. So my first match was a couple years ago. Hunter Constantine literally forced me to shoot it because I was too afraid, I was too nervous, I would not sign up. He forced me, he signed me up. So I showed up. It was very nerve-wracking for me. I did not go back for a very long time. And that is the reason why I have been off and on with competition shooting for the last 3 years, because of overcoming mental management. So The biggest thing that I have done to help with that was read a book by Lainey Bassam. It was recommended to me by a great shooter. Her name is Tino. She shoots for Team Glock. And Lainey Bassam is a Olympic gold medalist, and he has a book on basically teaching your mental game. And because that's what blocks a lot of people. So one of the biggest things is directive affirmations. So for example, say I mic something. So with those first 2 stages, that first stage, I mic'd a head box. I did the wrong thing by telling myself, oh no, I hit that, I mic'd that A box. So that's what was in my brain. I didn't focus on what I did good. So when it came to the second stage, what did I think about? I missed that A box, or that head box. So what did I do? I missed that head box again. So the biggest thing is telling yourself what you do good. So if you hit 2 A's, right in the center of the target, be like, yeah, that's like me. I hit A's all the time. That's me. And rather than saying, I want to be an A-class shooter, if you're not an A-class shooter, but that's what you want to be, you say, I am an A-class shooter. And basically, you train your mental management. You're training your subconscious. So these things don't pop up in your head when you're about to go shoot. So yeah, if you ever shoot with me and you see me at the end, when I go approve that hit factor, you'll see my whole hand. It's shaking. Like, so this is my biggest thing that I'm trying to overcome is just the anxiety of performance shooting, mental management. So if you want to learn more, with winning in mind, Lainey Bassam, it's a great book.
You two, I think, have progressed really fast as shooters and as competitive shooters specifically. So over the past year or so, or 6 months, what has helped you in that progression the most? What helped make that jump for you guys?
You want me to go? Yeah. Okay. This goes back to mental management as well. I usually want to finish the stage right away, and all I think about is how do I end the stage right away and how do I go fast through it? But instead, my instructor has taught me, Mr. Will Choi, he says to go through the stage on the things that you need to work on. So let's say earlier we had ports, just focus on each port instead of just finishing it all the way through to the end. I think that's one of the things I would talk about.
Mine's practice. So at home, I mean, everyone says dry fire, right? We dry fire, we practice on reloads, transitions, eyes moving the target before the gun gets there. Then shooting matches, the more matches you shoot, the better you become. And then it's a mental management game, right? Whether that's working on memory or visualization, all that stuff really, really helps. And then seek feedback. We shoot with a lot of experienced shooters, so ask questions, get with those guys. And then we have really, really good and talented people that shoot with us all the time. So seek as much feedback as possible and then work with those guys within your group and get out and shoot matches. The more matches you shoot, the better you'll become.
One of the biggest things I see with newer shooters is not having focused and purposed practice, or even at matches too, where you need to be focused on what you are doing and not just going through the motions. There's a big difference between shooting and practicing. Shooting, you're typically having fun. I don't know, you might be racing your buddies, whatever it might be, but practice is when you're working on these skills and improving. And it does take work, and you need to push yourself, and you need to fail. The failure is what's going to build you up to become better at the matches and work on that performance on demand, which is what the shooting sports is about, is showing up and executing whatever you need to do. So you need to find what works for you to focus your mind while you're shooting, getting into that flow state where that gun is connected to you, you know exactly what's going on, exactly where you're shooting and how it feels. And you're going to do that by pushing your speed, pushing your skill limits in practice. So when you go to a match, you can execute. And typically, let's say practice, I hate using percentages, but it's like practice, you're doing 110% or 100%. And at a match, you might back down to 90 so you can get all your hits. And a very important aspect is you're only going to shoot as good as you can on that day. You're not going to be 100% every day. So there's other factors involved, and you have to remember that because you'll go to different matches. Just like today, I think I threw a mic on each one of my runs. But again, that's as best as I can shoot today. And so remember that, and it's okay to fail. And work to progress your focus so your skill can increase.
We're doing some classifier lookup because Taylor likes talking.
So this entire time we've been shooting together, Preston is okay with the pistol. I've never lost him with a carbine, but like with a pistol though, he's decent. But he's never outshot me on a classifier. And we're about to, like, he might be classified higher, but in person he's never outshot me. Just like we're about to have him not outshoot me because you know it's Preston.
Hey Preston, really quick. What was Taylor's time with a carbine at the stage we did at Joe's place?
Oh, it's still going. It's
Still
still
going.
running to this day.
Hey,
We're
so
like 1 year, 9 months.
technically, it's still going, so the time hasn't been posted.
I've got Taylor Crabtree here. We got, actually, you're classified. We got a B class with the 61%. And then we'll go over here to, well, Preston. And I mean, I'm still a B class, but 72%. I'm 11% better than you.
Oh, is he? Let's see if he can 11% this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. And may God have mercy on your soul.
I'm tired, bro. I'm beat. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're complaining about. He's like, you're fine right now? I'm like, bro,
it's just built different.
I'm like, dude, let's go. He's like, I gotta go take a nap. And then this morning he wakes up, dude, like, we gotta leave the house at 7:30. It's like 7:20. He's like, I guess we'll get in the shower. And we're like, let's go. And right now he's just like, can we go to brunch, bro? I'm hungry. I'm like, dude.
I got wrecked yesterday. The heat wrecked.
Soft.
No.
Built soft. Charmin. Softness you can see in this, bro.
You got soft hands, brother. You got soft hands. You ain't never worked a day.
All right, guys, so one of the disciplines in the shooting sports is USPSA, and to get classified in USPSA, you need to shoot classifiers. And behind us, we have 2002 classifier. Jimmy's gonna put it on the screen right here. Nice, okay. So I'm just gonna read through it like we would at a major match. So as a range officer, this is what you'd hear when you'd show up. So this is Classifier CM 2002, scoring is Comstock, course of fire, targets. There's 6 USPSA cardboard targets. There's 12 rounds. Condition is loaded and holstered. Start position is anywhere in the shooting area, and the shooting area is marked by these fault lines, which is a rectangle for this stage. Procedure, engage targets from within shooting area. Pretty simple. So you get to choose where you want to start in this box. You get to start anywhere you want in this box, and you have to shoot all 6 targets as fast as you can. We also have the hit factor, so we'll get to see everybody's classification today. So we'll run through it and see what it is. Maybe if we have time, we'll run through it twice. If someone forgets a target.
Oh, no, he's not putting me.
So we'll get through it, we'll run everybody, get their hit factors, and see what everybody classifies today. In USPSA, there's 2 types of scoring. There's Comstock and Virginia count. Comstock means you can have makeup shots. Virginia count is a limited number of rounds. So if this was a 12-round stage, you would only be able to shoot 12 rounds and you get penalized. Being Comstock, you can shoot as much as you want. So if someone happens to tag a no-shoot here, which I think someone, at least one person will, they could have that makeup shot and get it in. So let's run it and see how we do. Just as a quick note for all you nerds out there who are gonna fact check us, we did have to modify the stage slightly because we're at an indoor range. Don't add us in the comments. It is what it is. Boom.
It's not right. It's not right.
Are you ready? Stand by. Unload your clear. Slide forward. Pull the trigger and hold it.
That's some.
You want it?
That was a good run. That was a good run.
Taylor just got a master class classification. These targets might be a little bit close, but we'll see what it is. Taylor, that was a master class run. Good job, brother.
Oh my! Woo!
Let's go.
We're done. Unload your clear. Slide forward. Pull the trigger and holster.
All right.
580. Hey, what did you say?
Let's see what it is. What do you got?
5, hold on one second, I messed up.
No, that's a high end.
580 all alphas, 10.3448.
Okay, slightly better than Taylor. Master class. Which is actually your classification. Look at that. Come on!
Yeah, it's crazy.
White day.
Forgot a target.
Oh, that's not
2.00, so that puts him at D class.
Yeah, baby.
Delta Force in the house.
Done. If you're done. Done. If you are done, unload your clear. A class.
What was it? A class?
Yeah, 85890, it's an A class.
Calvin.
Calvin, don't make me use any of these like pastures, okay?
Jinx me.
Jinx me.
Are you ready? Stand by. down, unload your clear, slide forward, pull the trigger and holster. Unload your clear, slide forward, hammer down, holster.
Well, it's not GM. It is C-Class.
Unload your clear, slide forward, hammer down, holster.
That's clean. That's a 9.3489.
Yeah, it is. Slide forward, pull the trigger and holster.
887.
10.1? Master
9 Alpha, 3 Charlie, 530, 10.1887.
Oh, one
Yellow
Charlie.
did.
One Charlie. Those masters. So 10.699. That's GM. That's what we're looking for. That 69909.
Okay, that's what I thought.
After a 10, which is all alphas in like around 5
Hasn't gone
seconds.
yet.
Or like 520.
Don't unload your clear.
2 Alpha the hard way, baby.
Pull the trigger forward and holster.
10.1761.
Masterclass.
Let's go, baby.
Done. Unload your clear. Pull the trigger and holster.
Shoot like a real Marine, if you know what I mean.
5.9246.
5.
That no shoot Mike smoked you.
Yeah. Imagine shooting a Nighthawk and not getting into the classifier. Whoa. 609.
7.2250.
72250. He's a B-class bandit.
Yeah, baby. Anti-B class shooter.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
Pull trigger and holster. Range is cold, 502.
That's probably GM. It's 11.9522. That's probably GM. He's like okay, I
10-9.
guess. Kind of mid.
Hit factor ahead.
It's okay. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
I feel better.
I think the guy that test ran it probably ran it best.
I think the guy that test ran it probably ran it best.
I mean, you factually didn't. Like, it's math. There's like equations.
Yeah, let's see if you can do
I don't gotta run it again.
Run it again. Come on, get online.
Still clear. Slide trigger for holster. 561. 2 Alpha. Alpha Charlie. 2 Alpha. 2 Alpha. 2 Alpha.
All right. 9.9822.
Oh, he's so close. He's an 8. Wait, what was it?
9.9822.
9.9822? That's another masterclass run.
Hey!
Preston!
Hopefully you all enjoyed that as much as we did making it. Thank you to all the homies for coming out and making this video what it was. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully it helps you in your journey if you're competing, if you're getting started competing, if you're coming out to Average Joe's, our weekly matches. Check out all the people down. I'll link them down below, everyone who's in the video. I'll put links for them in the description. Make sure you follow them on Instagram if you aren't already. Also, check out Hunter's channel. I'll link it up here. You can go watch him. Thank you guys for following along. If you have questions about anything we talked about today or something else you want to know more about, I'll see if I can get Hunter to hop in the comments and answer some of those for you guys, or Jello or any of the other guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. Karate chop that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Tell me whenever you're ready, Jimmy.
We're filming.
Oh, okay. Cut that out.
Everyone likes you. You're a good person. You will be wonderful. You will be wonderful.
All right.
You want to erase what Jello had?
No,
Okay.
yeah, this part.
Automatically DQ'd 90 PA right there.
No finger guns!
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I think it warned me 3 times. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had to hold my hands.
Are you ready?
No? Make ready.